Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I'm really excited about today because I'm going to be showing you my top 10 favourite art supplies from 2024. It's actually my top 16, but I'm classing 6 of them as honourable mentions. So I've got my top 10 and then 6 more that I just thought deserved to be in the video, but they didn't quite make it into my top 10. I'm Amber, by the way, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you here today, and I can't wait to get into this because I could talk about art supplies all day long and I can't wait to show you them. So let's go to my desk now and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so here we are at one of my favourite places in the world, and that is my desk. So all the art supplies that I mention in this video are not only my favourite art supplies of the year, but they could also be really great gifts for other artists who perhaps like mixed media or watercolour mostly, because most of this is like watercolour supplies. But so I guess we could kind of mix this in with like a 2024 artist gift guide, as well as all of my favourite supplies. So I'm going to get right into this because I could ramble on all day about all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to start with the things that are sort of less, you know, sort of cheaper things like pens and stuff, and then I'm going to end up with my favourite sort of watercolours and also sketchbooks and things like that. So let's get started. Straight away, my first favourite art supply of 2024 are these Posca pens. Specifically the white and black 0.7 millimeter, is it millimeter? Yeah. Tip, there we go. And I really love these because I love doing dots basically. So if I get some of my art now to show you, I love doing watercolour artwork with like a mixed media twist on it usually. And I mostly use Posca pens for doing things like these circles or dots, especially the white one. I don't have a gold Posca pen, but I'm going to show you the gel pens in a moment that I love to use. Yes, so these are my very first favourite art supply. And I do have a tin here full of all different colours of Posca pens, and I use them occasionally. At the beginning of the year I was using these bigger ones quite a bit, but I haven't really gone back to the big tin full of different colours yet. I just mostly use these two colours, white and black, and the smallest tip. Well, not the smallest tip, I'm not sure what the smallest tip is actually, but you know what I mean. Next up we have these gel pens. So these ones are from the brand Arrtx, and I really love these gel pens because they are really, really juicy. So if I could just get a sketchbook perhaps and show you. I don't think you'll really see it on white paper, but it's just sketchbook I've been playing in this year. Usually I struggle with gel pens to get the ink to come out really nicely and smooth, and these ones are absolutely not like that, and I've used this one so much and there's still loads left. So I love the colour gold as well because usually I'll get a gold gel pen and I don't actually like the colour gold that's in there. So you can get these in packs of silver, gold and white, and I highly recommend them. I've tried other gel pens like the Jelly Roll ones and the Signo Uniball gel pen, I think that's called, and I like them, but I just don't find them to be quite as consistent as these ones, and I really love them, and I've used them non-stop since Arrtx kindly sent me them. So I'm going to keep the sketchbook here actually, so I can test out anything else. I guess I could test out the Posca pens while I'm here, just to show you. So they're similar sort of size to those gel pens, and they're just, you can't really see that, but they're just really nice to use. So I've not really had any problems with my Posca pens. Okay, next up is the last type of pen. So I don't really draw with pens or anything like that, but I definitely enjoy using pens for mixed media, and these are probably my most used ever pens, and that is the Sakura Pigma Micron pens. I'm showing you here my favourite sizes, which is the 01, 05 and 08 size, but I go through these pens like mad, so I've actually used up loads of my Micron pens, and I tend to buy a set like this when I re-buy them. So you get 6 fine liners and 1 brush pen and 1 everyday pen, which is just, I guess, just like a normal Micron pen. But yeah, I really enjoy the Micron pens, and the same thing, I use them for doing dots and all sorts of stuff. So use them for like all the dots and little tiny circles. They're really nice, especially the smallest size, or I think there's a 0.5, 005. But yeah, I usually use the number 1 for doing like really tiny little circles like that. So it's nice to have an arrangement of different sizes for your Micron pens, because you never know if you want to do some, trying to find where I've used them now, some really thicker lines, or if you want to do some really thin lines and small lines like there. So I enjoy to have a selection of those, and I'd probably say with near enough every single one of my artworks I use all of these pens really. So they definitely have a spot in my top 10 favourite art supplies. Next up, we're going to go and talk about some paint. So this is gouache paint, and these are all my favourite colours. I do have a box of all different kinds of gouache, but I don't tend to use them as much as I use these colours, and specifically these 3 colours. So at the beginning of the year, I guess it was the beginning of the year, I watched a really good video by Sarah Burns Art, or Sarah Burns Studio, and she was talking all about gouache and how you can get started with just 3 colours and a white. So I've got my white there. And so I went on a little shopping spree and I bought the 3 colours that she mentioned. So we've got a Quinacridone Magenta, a Helio Turquoise and a Lemon Yellow. And these are the 3 primary colours, but not quite. So usually you would have like a red of some kind, like a primary red, an ultramarine, and also you would have a lemon yellow, I guess. But this is more of a CMYK colour palette. So CMY is a cyan, magenta and yellow, and I just really enjoy the mixes you get from colours like this rather than your usual primary colours. You can make some really nice cool tones, and when you have a normal primary colour palette you can't make a really nice pink. So if you already start off with pink, then you can mix your pink with yellow and you can get a nice red, but you can't mix a nice pink when you start off with an ordinary pink. So that brought me to, and this is not actually in my top 10 favourite art supplies, but this is how I use my gouache. So I guess that this could be one of the honourable mentions. And this is how I have used my gouache all year. So this is all messy. I haven't cleaned it out for a while. It's a bit sticky too. And so here are those 3 gouache colours. Look at the state of that. So that's the lemon yellow, the Quinacridone magenta and the Helio turquoise. By the way, I will link everything that I mentioned in this video down in the description. So if you want to go and check those out, you absolutely can. Another thing I want to mention is all of the Amazon links are affiliate links, so that means that I will get a small commission from any purchases made through those links at no extra cost to you. And I just want to say I really appreciate it when you use those links. I get so excited when I see someone has bought something through them, and it's only a tiny commission, but it's just one of those really exciting little things that's lovely to see, and I just really appreciate it. And you don't even have to buy the supplies that I actually link. I've noticed that people have bought other kind of things on Amazon that are not even art supplies, and I still get a really small commission from those things as long as you go through the link. So I really do appreciate that, and it's a really nice and lovely way to support the creators here on YouTube. So where was I? So yeah, this is the portable painter Micro, by the way, and it's a lovely little palette. It's so tiny and cute, and you can sort of put it on your sketchbook. I don't know if I've got everything in shot here. And the little palettes go on the side like this, and yeah, you can sort of hold it, and it's obviously made to be really portable and for travel sketching, but I've used it as my little gouache palette. And at the beginning of the year especially, I did a lot of art with this, and I've got all the footage for YouTube, but I haven't actually made it into actual videos yet, but I will do eventually. So obviously this has got space for 6 colours, and I thought, what colours am I missing here, or like what colours do I think that I would really like? And obviously I wanted a white, because a white is very important with gouache in my opinion. And I had these 2 colours already from my Winsor & Newton designer's gouache, and so I put these in there because these are also sort of my most used colours. So we've got permanent yellow deep and also cobalt turquoise light. So this is a really nice mix-in palette. I do have a video which I will link in the description, and also if I can put it in a card right up there, I will do. And I show you when I bought these 3 colours, and then I show you the swatching of them and how many different amazing colours you can make with just those 3 plus white. So that's the gouache. And by the way, these are from Schmincke or Schmincke Horadam. These are the Horadam gouache. Next up might possibly be my favourite art supply of the entire year, and I have raved and raved about this sketchbook so much. I absolutely love it, and it is the Royal Talens or Talens Art Creation Sketchbook. So mine is in a bit of a mess actually, and I also have this one, which is so this is like the A6 sort of size, this is the A5 size. They're a little bit more narrower than like a traditional sort of A5 or A6 size, and I started these in March. I started this one at the beginning of the year, so this has got like a whole year's worth of art in it, and they are just absolutely lovely. So this is the A5. I'm going to show you a little bit in this one. So when did I start this? December last year. Wow. So I've used it to sort of put concert wristbands in here when I've been to concerts, and I've used this too. So this was all that gouache in the palette that I just showed you a minute ago. So was this as well. So was this around March time. That's when I was really into my gouache painting. So yeah, I absolutely love this sketchbook. It's really good for all different media. So the details of it are, I've got a new one here ready to go. The idea is I'm going to still try my very best to fill this up by the end of the year. So this one was a Halloween special video that I did. But I've still got quite a few pages left yet, and I'm gonna have to start getting a bit strict on my art time, because I really do want to finish this by the end of the year, and then I can start this lovely fresh one next year. So the details are special, and if I could just recommend one to you, it would be this size. So they do it in the smallest size, which is this one. They have a square format, they have the A5 size, and then they also have an A4 size as well, so a really big one. And it comes with 80 sheets, so it's so many sheets actually when you're inside. It's 80 sheets, but I guess it's 160 pages, right? 9 by 14 centimeters, and it is £94 acid-free paper, and it's an off-white color, so it's kind of like an ivory color paper. 140 GSM as well. So it's actually a really thin kind of paper, and you wouldn't expect it to be able to take so much different media. I'm trying to show you there how thin it is, but I have chucked so much at these journals and they have taken it really, really well. Now obviously if you've got watercolours and you want your watercolours to look traditional and really nice on a paper, this is not going to be that sketchbook. I'd say this is just a more sketchbook for all sorts, but not everything is going to look amazing on these pages. This is when I first started getting into abstract art. So like with this, I use the Kuretake watercolours, and you can see like you can get some really nice textures and stuff, but it's not going to look like true traditional sort of watercolour on this paper. But for quick sketches, for everyday challenges or drawings, they are absolutely fantastic, and they're really cheap. They're such a good price. I got these from my local HomeSense store. So also I think HomeSense is TK Maxx as well, and $2.99. So I bought a few of them because that's just such a good price, and they're not too much more money than that on Amazon either, I don't think. So I could honestly talk about these sketchbooks all day long. I absolutely love them, and yeah, what else is good about them? Everything. Okay, next up, it's not actually anything from Kate Spade, it's Neocolors. So these are another art supply that I have absolutely loved this year. I got the 40 set originally for Christmas a few years ago, and they come in like a nice red tin. They're by Caran Dache, the make, and then I got a few more colours and they didn't fit in my red tin anymore, so I just put them in this box, and I thought this is perfect really. So if I can make things as compact as I can for my desk, then I'll do it. So I thought this was a really nice little box, and I absolutely love these. They are a water soluble wax pastel, and they come in all sorts of lovely colours. You can use them wet, you can use them dry. I think I have an example here actually on one of these pages. You must excuse these terrible faces that I did. Oh, here, yes. Yeah. So this is like a test that I did with some Neocolors just to see how they reacted. This is on top of acrylic gouache, and then here's some mixes that I did. This is on top of a Posca pen base, so they layer really nicely over other mediums. You can see you can use them wet, you can use them dry, and they are so vibrant and so much fun to play with. I haven't actually used these much in the past few months, but at the beginning of the year, these were my absolute favourites. I just love them. Okay, next up we have the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours. So these are a Japanese watercolour, and I have the bigger set of these, but this set in particular is in my top 10 for 2024. So here they are. This is the Art Nouveau set. I have used these so much this year. The colour selection and the colour palette is absolutely beautiful. They're all much more like muted tones. Apart from this red, I'd say they're all quite muted and subdued tones, and they are just absolutely lovely. And I feel like these would be in the top 10 for a lot of artists this year, because I see them all the time being used, and I just think they're a lovely gift. They're not too expensive. They come in a lovely box, and I can't recommend them enough. They're so much fun to play with. And then we have, after the Kuretake watercolours, so they're the Japanese Gansai watercolours. They're a bit different to traditional watercolours, and you might say they feel a little bit more opaque and kind of like more of a gouache than a watercolour, or somewhere in between that. But now for the more traditional watercolours. So I've recently got these two sets. I've got some videos, a few videos back now, where I swatched and showed you like my art haul of all of my Daniel Smith watercolours, and these are probably my favourite watercolours I've ever owned. They feel really fancy and just delicious, to be honest. And I've got 2 sets. So this is their 24 set, which is a already made set that you get. And when you buy the 24 set, you get a bonus tin, which I do keep laughing at because I just think it's funny. But yeah, so you get a bonus tin, and it's got all empty half pans in here. And I had some watercolours already from Daniel Smith that I put in here, and then I purchased a few more just to fill this tin up, and I love them. I love them. I love them so much, and especially the granulating colours. So if I had to narrow all these colours down to just one set of Daniel Smith watercolours to recommend in this video, and to also say they are my favourite out of the set to go in my top 10 favourite art supplies. I'm just going to get my colour chart to show you. Here they are. So this is the entire swatch of everything in these tins. So from all of these up here are the 24 set, and then all of these down here are the extra set. So the set that I would recommend to you if you really wanted to try a set of Daniel Smith watercolours, and they are my absolute favourite colours really out of all of my Daniel Smith watercolours, that would be the Haines set of 10. I don't actually have the box anymore, but if I could just show you the colours that it comes with, I'll cover that up. I'm not going to do a very good job of this. Basically, the colours that come in the Haines set of 10 are all of these and all of these, plus Undersea Green. So Undersea Green also came in the 24 set, and I didn't want to swatch it out twice. But you get the Nickel Azo Yellow, Aussie Red Gold, Opera Pink, which is incredible, Quinacridone Magenta, Imperial Purple, Moon Glow, Lunar Blue, Cascade Green, Green Appetite Genuine, and Undersea Green as well. So I'd say these colours are some of the most magical colours in the Daniel Smith range. Nickel Azo Yellow and Aussie Red Gold. I'm not even going to do that because I'm just going to go through all the colours again. I just think if you wanted to try some granulating watercolours and some that are really special, in particular the Moon Glow there, something you might not have tried before, I can't recommend this set enough. So I'll put a picture on the screen of the box, and that would be my favourite Daniel Smith watercolours of the year, because look at that, the Undersea Green there. The way the colours separate and granulate, like nothing I've ever seen before. I think they're amazing. So that is the watercolours. Next up, here we have the colour cubes. These are from an artist called Sarah Renee Clark. And, well, I guess she's a colouring book artist, and she makes colouring pages and things like that. She came out with this product, which I think is just amazing. I got it for Christmas last year, and I have used them loads this year. They are called the Colour Cube, and we get volume 1 and also volume 2. If you purchase them, you could just buy one or the other. She also has something called the Colour Catalogue, which I think came before the Colour Cube, and that is like a digital version of the cards. So basically, in each box you get 250 colour palette cards, and on the back you get the colours, you get the tint and, is it called tint and shade? The lighter and darker version. You also get the hex codes for digital art as well, which I think is really good. And I love these. I just think it's so fun to close your eyes, pick a colour cube, for instance. I guess that one's not so fun. And then sort of challenge myself to pick my colours. And this is where the Kuretake watercolours come into it, and they are really lovely because you can get them to match the colours on the colour cards as well. So that's a good one, a Christmassy one. Another Christmassy one. So yeah, these are really fun, and I love Love, love. I get, oh look, these are all the Christmassy ones in here, so that's ideal. I have to remember these for later. So yeah, I love these. They're so much fun. And these then inspired me to start my colour palette prompts challenge on Instagram, where each week I make 4 colour palettes and share them with you to use as inspiration. And to be honest, ever since I started my own colour palette prompts challenge, I haven't used these quite as much because I try and do the 4 colour palettes every week, even though I usually fail. And there's not enough time to do all the art in the world. But yeah, these are amazing. I'm also an affiliate for the Colour Cube, so I'll link my affiliate link, and if you want to go and have a look at those or even purchase them, I will get a small commission from that sale as well, so that's really nice to get accepted for that. Okay, so I just thought before I show you the final supply in my top 10 favourites, I would just show you quickly the is this the 48 set? Yes, this is the 48 set. So this is the 48 set of Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours and another really lovely set of colours, but I thought if I just had to pick one, I would definitely go for the Art Nouveau set, because to me they're quite unique colours, whereas with these there's a lot of unique colours, but you can get them in sort of other sets of watercolours and that. So I love these. I do use them all the time still, but for more vibrant sort of colours, I have been leaning more towards my Daniel Smith the past few weeks than I have these, but I'll definitely go back to them because I do love them. They just feel very, very different to a traditional watercolour. Okay, so the final product or art supply or book on my top 10 favourites list for 2024 is this. Eventually I will make a video all about this book on its own, as well as, oh, there's one of my hairs on here, as well as a few of the other art books that I have, because I love art books. I love reading them, I love doing the projects in them, and I want to make their own videos basically, because I think it would be a nice series here on my YouTube. So this is Creative Abstract Watercolour, and it's by Kate Rebecca Leach, or Isoldo Design on Instagram, and she is an abstract watercolour artist, and this book is just amazing for if you want to get into this sort of style. Kate makes it so easy and approachable for if you're very new to the subject and you want to get into this sort of abstract watercolour style. And she gives you loads of tips and techniques and then takes you through the projects. The projects are easier in the beginning, and then they get more and more difficult by the end of the book. But there's just so much inspiration in here for mark making and different designs. I've done a lot of the different designs in here in my own sketchbook. So like, where are we? Here, I did this one in one of my colour palettes. Can't get it all on the camera shot. Yes, I did this one, and the pebbles as well, which I shall get here to show you. There they are, irregular pebbles. I also did there. So I just absolutely love this book. I've slowly been working my way through it, and it's just lovely for if you're interested in watercolour or quick painting as well. So all of these projects don't necessarily take that long if you don't want them to, so it's just a really nice book to dip in and out of and be inspired by colour and abstractness, and just it's just lovely. So one of my favourite purchases of the year for sure. I always put these sheets in between my pages just to protect it, because the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolours can get a little bit sticky sometimes and they dry a bit shiny, and then when you close your sketchbooks up they stick to the other page. So I put these sheets in, it's just a glassine paper, or you might call it perhaps deli paper, just to protect the pages, but they fall out everywhere when I try and show anybody anything. Okay, so that was my top 10 favourite art supplies of 2024. And as I said, I had 6 honourable mentions that I wanted to mention because I couldn't quite put them in the top 10, but I did also want to mention because these are things that I use all the time still and I really do love. So I'm going to get straight into it. The first one is another art book, and this one is by Inga Buividovic. I always say her name and I probably always get it wrong, but this is another really lovely watercolour art book called Painting Calm, Connect to Nature Through the Art of Watercolour. I've only just started doing some projects in here and I'm really loving it. It's another really lovely book with simple instructions in, and it's great for if you want to get to know botanical or floral watercolour painting and pattern. And yeah, it's just another lovely book that I really do want to study and go into more. And I have said it before on this channel, but I will definitely make a more in-depth video on this book to add to the new series that I want to create. So this is a lovely, lovely book for if you're interested in floral art and botanicals or nature art of any kind. Next up, we have the Arrtx acrylic markers. So I was, along with the gel pens, also kindly sent these by Arrtx to review on this channel quite a few videos back now. So they sent me two sets and I've reviewed them both on here, and this is my favourite one. So this is set B. They also have set A, and that comes in like a blue, red and yellow box. Set A has like the metallic colours and also some neon colours, whereas this box doesn't, and you get more colours that you can actually sort of use for a bit more realistic drawings, if you like, rather than the metallics and the neons. These are loads of fun, actually. They come in this lovely box as well, so they'd be a really nice gift, and they're just a brush tip acrylic marker, and you don't have to shake them or anything. They're just literally ready to go because Arrtx recommends you store them upside down. They've made it easy for you to store them like that, and I've really had some fun with these, and I definitely want to use them more and create some more videos with them because they're so much fun. I guess I will just say quickly though that there is a little bit of quality control issues with Arrtx sometimes, so perhaps you might get a marker where the acrylic paint inside is really runny and it runs everywhere, or I had one in my first box where the marker never had like a cap on it, so the acrylic paint inside was just completely dried out, and that was a shame. And if you watch YouTube videos about these, you tend to see artists who receive them have a problem with at least one pen or another. But there's 60 colours in here, and the one that I had all dried out wasn't really too big of a problem. So I just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, I do really enjoy playing with these, so I just wanted to give them an honourable mention. Okay, 4 more things left. Next up, we have Prismacolor Colorase pencils. Now, these are one of my, well, they are my favourite pencils to sketch with because they're a coloured pencil, but they are erasable. I have quite a few colours here because I think I got the set of 12 from Amazon, or it might have been 12, I can't remember now, but you get all different colours to sketch with, and they're quite a hard point, and they hold their tip. They hold their sharp tip for a really long time, so you don't really have to sharpen them that much. I've had this one for absolute ages and I've still got loads left, and they come with an eraser on the end, so just for me, I much prefer sketching with these than I do a regular graphite pencil, and I don't necessarily know why that is, but this is what I like. So I wanted to mention these because whenever I do any sketching, I love them, especially this red one. If I could recommend only one colour, it would be the red, carmine red. Another 2 things. You know what? I've just thought of another thing that I'd really like to mention, and I'm going to mention it. So I said I had 6 honourable mentions, but I've got 7. So I'll mention that one after these 2. These are, so actually we'll start with one. This is disgusting, okay? So I haven't cleaned it for ages. I just keep using it, and so it really does need a good clean. But this is called a paint puck, and basically all it is a water pot. But I really like these, and I use it all the time because it's got the little silicone bottom bit in there, and it can clean your brushes really well without damaging the bristles on your brushes. So I love that, and it makes it like easier to clean your brushes. But I do realise as well, and from videos that I've watched on YouTube, that you shouldn't really sort of be like bashing your bristles of your brushes on the bottom of any sort of jar or water pot, because it can just damage your bristles. But another thing I really like about this is it's got these little holders for brushes as well. So if I just get some for a moment. When you leave your brushes to dry, I've seen or read that you should leave them to dry upside down so the water doesn't go fall down into the barrel of the brush. So that's why I love this paint pot or water pot, because you can put your brushes like that and let them dry out upside down. Now this is the paint puck, and this was really expensive, to be honest. I think it cost me like £20 odd or something, but it's lasted really well. I've had it for years. I love it. I don't think these exist anymore, to be honest. I've looked on Amazon today and it doesn't seem, I can't really find the actual paint puck, but there are others like it on Amazon, so I will link them. It's basically quite a simple thing, it's just silicone, but yeah, really good. I love it. I use it all the time. So that quick supply that I forgot to write down, but I actually do want to mention, is these paint brushes. Now this is actually pretty pointless, because I think also that they don't sell these anymore either. So these are the Betty Hayway's watercolour brushes. I got them from a shop that I can't remember the name of now, but I love them. I've used them loads, and unfortunately I can't get them anymore, so that is a shame. But I've just found another watercolour brush that I love, and that feels really nice, if not better than these, to use, and that is the Princeton Aqua Elite watercolour brushes. Now they look different, the bristles are longer, and these are a synthetic Kolinsky hair brush, or Kolinsky sable brush, but they're synthetic as well, so these are also synthetic. I will link the shop where I got these from, the Chelsea Paper Company perhaps, or something like that, but last time I checked they were out of stock on there, so if you can get your hands on these, they're amazing, and they look lovely as well, don't they? But yeah, these are the Princeton Aqua Elite ones. I've only just got these not too long ago, and I already love them and use them all the time. They hold loads of water and loads of pigment, and they hold a really nice tip when they're wet too. So they are the next best watercolour brush I found to these ones. So that's just a quick mention. Next up, we have a porcelain paint palette. I love a porcelain paint palette. It's watercolour. When you mix watercolours on here, it feels so different to using a plastic palette, and I just think if you've got a watercolour artist in your life that doesn't have one of these, I would definitely recommend just a nice porcelain paint palette, because they are lovely and they're just really nice to have around. I've just bought recently out of Poundland some little ghost plates. They're so cute, and they're just like a porcelain ghost plate, and so that is exactly the same thing as this, really, just not actually made for watercolour. So if you could find like any other porcelain plate or nice porcelain, different kinds of like decorative plates, then they would work just as well as a porcelain paint palette. But yeah, I use this all the time along with my little ghosty palettes now, and I love it. And finally, we have the final supply in this video, and an honourable mention, and also a little bit of a plug as well. So I've saved this till last, and it is a handmade art journal. So these are some art journals that I made myself, and I made them with mixed media paper. I've been using them throughout the year since I made them. When did I start this? 11th of August, that must have been when I made this, and I put all different kinds of paper in them, from craft paper to like a fabric, calico fabric in here, the Cardi watercolour paper, what's this, a tone tan mixed media paper, all sorts of papers, black, denim, all sorts of different kinds. And the reason this is a plug is because, get rid of these a moment, I have made a collection of these little beauties to add to my Etsy shop. So they're all unique, totally unique. The fabrics are all different on each one. Oh. So these are 3 that I made. Oh, I love the look of these fabrics, especially these 2. They're my absolute favourites. And these are all made with, I think it's 6 or 8 different kinds of papers. So we've got the Cardi watercolour paper. We've got the craft paper. This is just a cartridge paper, perfect for sketching. A black mixed media paper. What else do we have in here? I put all sorts in here. A denim blue one. This is the same as the black one, so it's the Clairefontaine paint on paper, and they're really great for mixed media. A burlap in here as well, just for fun. And then it's also got a sea white canvas paper in here, so it's like a canvas texture. So yeah, these are absolutely full with different kinds of paper to use and play with, and they are completely handmade by me. And as of today, when this video goes up, my Etsy shop will also have been relaunched, because I used to have an Etsy shop but I haven't uploaded anything to it for a really long time. And these free journals will be on there for you to have a look at and maybe treat yourself, or buy the artist in your life a really lovely handmade gift. So I put a lot of love and care into each one of these journals, and yeah, I hope you love them. I also have this one as well, which I kind of don't want to upload onto my Etsy, but I'm going to. So this is a lovely little so these are like A5 sort of size, and then this one is like A6, and it has a little wraparound on here, which is super cute. And then on the inside of this one, it's also mixed media. So on the listings, it will have like all the details of the paper and everything, but I can't exactly remember how many pages I put in them now. But yeah, this one's also got the same. So the denim blue, the canvas, the Cardi watercolour paper, just lots of different lovely papers to play with, and a little ribbon inside as well. So yes, I'll also be making a few little sketchbooks. So this one's like not quite finished yet. I haven't put the cover on, but there's going to be a couple of these just plain watercolor paper sketchbooks in here. These are made from the Cardi watercolor paper. I've got an example to show you. This is one that I made for myself, and I've kind of been using it as a way to document my colour palettes and make different colour palettes in here. And yeah, this is a Cardi watercolour paper, and it's just a lovely little sketchbook to use. And so if I've got enough time before the launch of my Etsy shop and when this video comes out, I will be making a few more of these Arrtx watercolour paper journals as well. So these are made from Arrtx cold press watercolour paper, and I've really put this one through the ringer, put it through the test, and I've used it absolutely loads. And I think that this one will be the sketchbook that I end up filling up by the end of the year. So I've only got a few more pages left now to fill up, and then I can do a lovely sketchbook tour for this channel, which I'm very excited about. Okay, my camera just went flat then. Great timing, camera, because I'm nearly finished with this video. But yeah, so the Etsy shop will be in the video description. I shall link it down below. Do have a look, and if any of you purchase any of these journals, I shall get them in the post as soon as possible. So hopefully you would get them in time for Christmas. Hopefully you will. If you're in the UK, you definitely will, but I'm not so sure about anywhere else. But I will put more information in the Etsy shop about them. So yeah, I guess that's it then, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're still here at this point in the video, then let me know what your top favourite art supplies are of 2024, because I've loved sharing mine with you today, and I'd really love to know what your favourite art supplies are as well. So that's it for today, guys. Do check out any of the links in the description if you're interested in any of the art supplies, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.